Many can remember growing up with Steve Irwin and the Kratt brothers, inspiring youth to explore and engage with the world around us. For the youth of today, the Wild Outside program through Canadian Wildlife Federation is looking to create a love for nature and conservation.
My name is Ashley Adams, and I am a youth leadership specialist with Wild Outside, and that's under the umbrella of the Canadian Wildlife Federation.
So Wild Outside, looking over the email sent to us by Sam, it's really, really cool. Let's jump right into it. What can you tell me about the Wild Outside program?
So the Wild Outside program is a program for youth 15 to 18. It is aiming to get youth outdoors, learning about conservation, and helping out within the community. So different volunteer projects and learning about wildlife and nature and lots of variety. And we even do lots of fun different adventures as well.
Yeah, I've seen a number of programs like this. Where I grew up out in Winkler, there's it's called the Discovery Nature Sanctuary. It's just this really small plot of land between a bunch of factories that people fought for to keep natural, and they've built an outdoor classroom and everything there, and they have what's it called? I think it's called a wildlife blitz every year, where they're just trying to see all the different species and animals out there. So with programs like Wild Outside, I just think it's so important to inspire. When we're looking at it, another part was keeping it no cost and barrier free. Why was that important?
Often it can be a real challenge for people to get outside. It gets them out of their comfort zones. There's the barriers of cost and transportation and equipment. And this gives the opportunity for youth to be able to be part of outdoor experiences without those barriers. It can exclude a lot of people. There's also being able to engage them in these experiences and activities. It's an important part of creating a love for the outdoors and for nature and wildlife alike. Some people might not have the connections of peers and family who are able to go out or who enjoy going out. So this really gives the opportunity to help build a sense of love and a sense of responsibility and learning about the wildlife and the habitats that are out there.
So you've touched on it a little bit. And of course, I have my own personal feelings and thoughts on the matter, but I'd love to hear more about the Wild Outside's perspective of, why is it important for us, especially individuals in like a city, to reconnect with nature?
Wild Outside focuses on empowering youth to engage them in community action and outdoor adventures to build that appreciation. And there are wild spaces all over, and even in urban areas. We just may not notice them or may not be as close to them as we might think. It helps to build or helps for them to begin to see themselves as part of a greater whole, to be able to contribute in some sense within their community, within their peer group, within the city, within their province, and beyond.
Allowing humanity to become one with nature again, because at least from what I see in some conversations I have with people, there's often a major disconnect from, the natural order and, what we do in this city. Like sometimes it's hard. It's like, well, look, we build massive skyscrapers. We have phones, Bluetooth technology and stuff like that. So it's very easy to feel disconnected or feel separated. Just finding those small pockets, as you mentioned, here in the city are fantastic. Would I love to see our cities invest more in green spaces? Of course, who wouldn't want that? But there are those really fun little sections, especially if you're down by the river, like head down to the Forks or just...
The Canadian Wildlife Federation, we want to inspire youth and the next generations to be conservationists and naturalists and just really people in general to care about the natural spaces and to see the benefits and the importance of those. and to understand the power of community and volunteering to support those communities and those habitats and the wildlife that's in them.
How long has this program been? I know it's in, what was it, 30 some different cities across Canada. How long has it been here at Winnipeg specifically?
So it started here in Winnipeg in March of 2020.
Wow.
And so we've been building it since then. And it's been lots of youth joining and getting to have those experiences, which has been really amazing.
How did this year go? Now that people are able to go out, gather, and maybe have events and stuff, how did this year look for participation and sort of activities and events?
Lots of youth are looking for those ways to get outdoors, maybe disconnect from the busy of their lives and to just be able to enjoy being outdoors.
They're hungry for more, right?
Yeah.
After being locked inside for so long, you just want to go out and do something. And at least my experience when connecting with nature and seeing nature, even just glancing at a tree, just seeing the leaves and the grass, it gives me that dopamine high. Like, it makes me feel better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can tell just in our experiences, we've had youth give feedback that being able to come out and get outside and to enjoy the time with their peers, learning, connecting outdoors has been a real benefit to them.
You mentioned, inspiring them to get involved in like community events and other sort of projects. And so when we're looking here at Winnipeg, I guess maybe if you're aware of, what are some of those like naturalistic or community projects that people can get involved in?
Sure. So in Winnipeg, we've done lots of great projects. We've cared for pollinator gardens. We've planted native species. We have done tree planting. We have also done different bird surveys, biodiversity blitzes. So you talked about the blitzes in Winkler. Well, we do that with our youth as well. And a fun example that we've done was we were part of a kestrel nesting box project.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah, so we partnered with a local biologist. He is an expert with owls and other raptor species. So we built the nesting boxes, and then we were able to install them in Assiniboine Park and around the community. And also, we were able to observe those. And then once the young were old enough, we were part of watching the banding of those kestrel chicks.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Yes, it was really, really cool to be able to be part of that full cycle and watch it go around the full circle.
That's really fun, getting the kids involved in like the whole life process of that, because then maybe ownership isn't the right word, but they feel involved.
Yes.
Like it's something that like it's imprinted on them, this whole experience. And hopefully, and I guess that's the hope and the intention, is to inspire them to keep getting involved, for doing more sort of events like this, because there's so many really cool conservation efforts here in Manitoba. I think they're called plovers.
Oh, yes.
Or something
Piping
like
plovers.
Yes. How do we continue to inspire people? Because, of course, getting kids involved, getting them excited is going to help. But when we're looking at conservation efforts, how do we make people want to protect things that, maybe there doesn't have to be a disconnect between economic growth and development and the economy versus also protecting things?
Yes. So
I know that's a little bit of a complicated and loaded question.
yeah, that's an important question. I'm not an expert on economic development, but what I can tell you is that the Canadian Wildlife Federation, they take a balanced approach to conservation, guided by the best available science. We engage groups and individuals through educational, guided, oriented programs and initiatives. We also work with many local partners to conserve wildlife and habitat for the use and enjoyment of all. We also provide our participants with career development opportunities. So if they're interested in those careers, they in the outdoors and conservation, they can continue to explore those opportunities.
Well, that's great. Like, after they've taken part in this program, they've gotten they've gotten inspired, they have this passion inside of them. Yeah, you want to help foster those opportunities to go further, whether they are individuals that take roles like yourself in inspiring youth or finding new conservation or scientific endeavors to protect nature. Because, yeah, we need more people to be excited to get involved. Sometimes when we're talking from like a media or like television perspective, with the loss of Steve Irwin and everything, I feel like that had a big hit on inspiring kids to go out there. It just left a void, and I don't think it's been filled really.
If we can create those opportunities for youth to learn about, and then it often inspires them to do more. And we at the Canadian Wildlife Federation, we really aim to provide those opportunities for the youth to continue, whether they go into conservation for their careers or they are interested in other careers, but they still hold that love and that passion for the outdoors to whether they volunteer outside of their own working positions or they are really just care. If they're caring about everything and about those topics and
Well, maybe they can become the Manitoban Steve Irwin sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's always those opportunities. We have youth that have come from our program. They've gone into university. One, for example, has specifically chosen their path within university because of the program.
That's amazing.
And so they were really inspired to continue that learning and that growth.
Looking forward, we want to continue to grow and develop this program and inspire people. What sort of projects or initiatives are kind of coming up, and how can people get involved, whether that is being a volunteer to help support the program or for youth to participate?
We have lots of different activities coming up into the fall and winter because we run year round. Some of those projects a lot of them are still in the works, but different things that we like to do. We like to go ice fishing. When we're out there, we'll invite biologists, experts to come out and talk about those ideas. We also really enjoy creating the connection with the land and having Indigenous folks come in and to teach about those
Incredibly
connections.
important part.
Yes, very important.
And then how do people get involved, whether they want to be a volunteer? Parents who are like, "Oh, I've heard about this program Wild Outside. I'd love to get my child involved and inspire them."
Yeah, so youth age 15 to 18 can go to the wildoutside.ca website. They can register there. And same with the adult volunteers if they're interested in learning outdoor leadership and the educational aspects of conservation. They can also go to the website and sign up there.
Well, I'd like to leave it on this note. What inspired you to get involved in Wild Outside? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I have a background in forestry and outdoor adventure education. I was working with forestry previous to this. And when I saw the opportunity that this program was starting, I really wanted to jump on it because I've worked with youth in the past and I find that it's so energizing and fun to work with youth that they're interested, they're excited, they want to learn. It's just a lot of fun.
Of course. And it must be incredibly fulfilling too when you're, providing opportunity for a kid to explore a passion, but also, put those nuggets of inspiration and drive in them to kind of keep things moving forward, whether that would be pursuing an education in conservation or the sciences, or maybe eventually once they get a little older to become a volunteer themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually had youth that have aged out of our program and they've come back as adult volunteers, which is really nice. And it is very rewarding to work with them and to see that process and see how they grow and the friendships that they build and just really just have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Awesome. And just kind of once again, where can people go to find out more information?
So they can go to wildoutside.ca and all the information is there. You're able to register and get started and join us.
Have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk. And have yourself a good one.